Oh, hell yeah, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the Mac and Jack Robot Roundup. I am your never popular host, Jack Finney, and opposite me is the man down under, the incomparable filmmaker who still has yet to break into the film industry properly because we're both absolutely clueless as to where to begin. The Mac, Makon, Crayley. How you doing today,
Oh,
Mac?
hell yeah, son. Just sitting here drinking some Steve Weisers.
Are you drinking a huge case of them?
Oh, hell yes. Oh my god.
Go home, Mac, you're drunk. And that's saying something
What?
considering he's completely and totally teetotal.
I don't drink.
Yeah, he doesn't drink at all. So, yeah. Oh, what an episode that we have to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. This one is just one of those episodes that makes you glad to be a Battlebots fan. It was action from start to finish, and this is one of the best episodes in a long time.
Oh, yeah, this was... I wouldn't say a long time because the last few episodes have been fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's just like, even among those standouts, this one stands out.
Yeah, oh, very much, yeah.
There's so much good stuff going on here.
Indeed. Let's get to it.
Okay, so let's take a look at the card from top to bottom. Let's start out with the opener. As always, we have Bloodsport versus Sub-Zero.
That's every
on
single
its
week.
face-
Yep.
Yep.
The exact match
on its
every
face.
week.
Yeah, on its face, kind of a gimme fight for Bloodsport, not to take anything away from Sub-Zero, but Sub-Zero has kind of been a bit of a punching bag for quite a while now. We've seen it eat a lot of nasty shots over the last few years, and unfortunately the team haven't quite managed to find their feet since the last couple of years. But yeah, opening fight for them, Bloodsport coming in with its tri-bar spinner getting highlighted as well. It's the longest reach one. It's kind of a do or die fight for Sub-Zero as well, after only appearing in the bonus fight beforehand against Shatter, and well, let's not dress it up. We saw them get their ass kicked by Shatter in that fight as well.
Yeah.
The big takeaway from this one, we had Pete Abramson, the bot whisperer, making a little bit of a boo-boo at one point as well. Just a gosh darn profanity that he threw out there.
Nah, no swearing.
No swearing.
Yeah, a little Danhausen for you people there. And just coming in, yeah, there's not really that much to talk about with the fight. It was actually a pretty decent fight, though, because Sub-Zero actually came out I'm not going to say threatening Bloodsport, but they did have a very solid strategy in place. They were constantly keeping their nose on Bloodsport, aiming to, try and disable it using its plow, trying to line up the right type of flip. Unfortunately for them, the recoil whenever Bloodsport hit them ended up bouncing Bloodsport away from them, so as a result, every time they fired their flipper, it was a misfire. And as a result, they weren't really able to take advantage of their powerful flipper, because Sub-Zero, while it has had some rotten luck, it is a very solid robot. It's got a very powerful flipper behind it. And unfortunately for them, their mobility ended up giving out before they could line up a proper flip, as the recoil from every hit from Bloodsport just ended up causing a little too much damage to its motors, really taking away its agility and just setting it up to get, unfortunately for them, ripped apart by Bloodsport by taking out the wheels for the win.
Yeah. This was a fun back and forth fight. Like, both teams look great. Sub-Zero did get like a good flip off, but like, yeah, like I just said, like they eventually just lost it all.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate for them because Bloodsport's recovery was fantastic in this one. Bloodsport is one of those ones that always, whenever it takes a hit, it manages to come back quite strongly.
Yes, indeed.
It's like, because we saw Bloodsport be one of the big success stories from the previous season, as they went 3-0 and just make their way into the tournament and do very well for themselves, all things considered. Given I'm pretty sure that was only their second year in competition as well.
Yeah, I think so. Might have been.
It tends to be a big thing with like rookie teams. In their first year, they'll kind of get off to a non-start, and then they'll do really, really well in their second year as they come back with a lot more knowledge. And in the third year, they start to do really, really well. It happened with Tantrum as well, for example.
Yeah, true.
who, as we highlighted before, got off to a bit of a non-start with its opening season, and then last year was one of the big success stories.
Oh, yes, lad.
But we will talk about their team and their affiliates later on. Overall, Bloodsport doing a great job taking out the wheels for the win. Sub-Zero proving itself to be pretty game, but unfortunately for them, this was pretty much shut out on their chances of making it into the final tournament.
Yeah.
With any luck, they'll be able to get something going next year, but I'm unfortunately going to have to ring the bell on Sub-Zero for this season and back to the drawing board. Hopefully, yeah, they can get something going. But overall, I would say 7 out of 10. Fun fight, good strategy from Sub-Zero, but it wasn't enough to overcome the raw power of Bloodsport.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Ooh, cool. Now we come to the big story of the episode.
What the actual hell?
Oh, yes. Cobalt versus Ghost Raptor. Now, full disclosure, everybody. Coming in after the inauspicious start for Cobalt last time they fought, Mac and I were actually both backing Ghost Raptor coming into this one due to having what we considered a more experienced driver.
Yeah.
At least relative to this type of machine. Oh boy.
We made a mistake.
How wrong we were.
Big egg
now,
everywhere.
we were not expecting this fight to be what it was. We were making little jokes going in about how someone's O has got to go and how neither of them had gotten off to a good start this year. And oh boy, we were very quickly left eating our words.
Yeah, we did not expect this at all.
Yeah, I had in my notes, Cobalt looking to rebound. The new driver is no Dave Moulds. Because, you know, Dave Moulds, fantastic roboteer, really thought that he had a shot at becoming the first Triple Crown champion in robot combat history after winning King of Bots and winning Robot Wars. I was really hoping he would be back this season, and of course, like, my feelings on Cobalt cooled a bit when I found out that Dave Moulds would not be the one coming back. And...
Well, right, how do you feel now?
Oh boy, I will get into that in a moment. First up, we'll talk about the lead-in. They actually did a pretty good hype package coming into this as well, and Farouk's intros for both teams absolutely on point. Now, I've since found out that the teams themselves write their intros and Farouk just delivers them, but you know, he does it with such gusto and aplomb, and there was one line in particular for Ghost Raptor, "Death finds a way." Now, obviously that's a riff on Jurassic Park, but oh my god, dude, that's such a cold line, and I was all in for it.
Yeah, absolute killer line, and boy, did it prove itself today.
It was eerily prescient, just not for how Ghost Raptor had intended.
Oh god.
I thought that the ground scraping forks on Cobalt could make all the difference in this one as well. Like, I was still backing Ghost Raptor, but you know, I was starting to second guess myself a little bit going into the fight when I saw Cobalt's new setup, and oh boy. Oh boy, how it proved me right, because good lord. Right, now, coming to the actual fight itself, Ghost Raptor, to their credit, was aggressive out of the gate. They were doing their best to try and smother Cobalt and not allow it to get itself properly into play, but you could see that the driving gremlins that Cobalt was experiencing from the previous bout against Fusion, where they came in without forks and ended up going weapon to weapon and it didn't work out for them, you could see that they had massively learned from their mistakes in that one. Say what you want, like I said, I was kind of rubbishing the driver of Cobalt after the first fight, but you could see this is a guy who learns from his mistakes very, very quickly, and he never makes them again.
Yeah, like, okay, so at the start of the fight, like, actually, Cobalt kind of looked like a fool a little bit, because, like, it sort of rammed into the blades, like, and the screws? Is it the screws? Yeah, the screws. And, like, it was sort of stuck there a bit.
Wait, Ghost Raptor was doing a good job. Ghost Raptor was doing a good job keeping them smothered, pressuring them up against the screws and things like that, trying not to allow them to get any distance between them to line stuff up. But when Cobalt did, oh boy.
Oh god.
Here we go.
Yeah, once the comedy ended.
I've been saying that so much for this fight, but there's a reason for that, because what we come to now is quite frankly, the most devastating hit that we have seen in Battlebots since Icewave literally ripped Vanquish in half. What we saw in this one, Cobalt, even more brutal than when Cobalt tore Duck's face off in the previous season. This was Cobalt just lining up the absolute perfect hit at just the right angle, just the right amount of impact, just the right position on the blade as they slammed Ghost Raptor into the wall and using its weapon, literally split it into 4 or 5 different pieces just barely connected by the wires.
He goddamn bisected him. It was fucking crazy.
It straight up quartered it. It was left... have you seen Galaxy Quest when they warp that little creature onto the bridge and it's basically being turned inside out, or like in the Fly when the Brundlefly gets fused with the telepod?
Yes. Oh god, yeah.
Or when the baboon gets turned inside out. It was like that, but with a robot. It was absolutely insane.
God.
You and I, Mac and I went absolutely ballistic for an entire minute when we saw this. We were completely amazed.
Yeah.
As an example, it was like the meme of Joe Rogan and the other commentators in UFC watching that big fight where there's just a look of disbelief and awe on their faces. It was just like that.
Yes, indeed.
We just went absolutely ballistic when we saw this. Like I said, the most spectacular KO since Vanquish was torn in half by Icewave, or when Bite Force literally disemboweled Hypershock. This was the most complete destruction on Battlebots in years. And considering how high the standard of engineering is at this point, to be able to achieve something like that, it is a colossal feat. Now, Ghost Raptor has unfortunately been a bit of a non-starter for the last few years, but holy crap, just seeing a robot destroyed like that... God,
it's insane.
It's insane, and you just feel so proud to be a Battlebots fan, seeing this sort of stuff.
Yeah, so, and now we know that Cobalt is not a defensive robot. Cobalt should always be on the attack.
Yes, Cobalt ain't nobody to fuck with anymore. Cobalt could, if they can repeat this again, they could potentially win the entire season.
They could. They have proven that the first fight was pretty much just bad luck and like getting their feet sort of wet. But now they are ready. Now they are ready to fuck everyone up.
And great highlights of the driver after the fight as well. Like, he was great in the interview, and he was great in the post-fight hype package as well, as we talked backstage. 10 out of 10 fight, the best KO of the entire season, and let's face it, when we get to our end of season awards, unless something else absolutely phenomenal happens, this is going to win KO of the season.
Absolutely goddamn lootly. Oh my god, I love it.
Everything I could have wanted from this fight and more. 10 out of 10,
yes.
And best KO.
Meanwhile, on the opposite end of the spectrum, the next fight, Icewave versus Deadlift.
Oh man, I so badly wanted to believe in Deadlift coming into this because I love the gimmick and I love the team. I consider them my boys, and yeah. That being said, I do like Icewave as well, but I really want to see Deadlift actually get off to a competitive start.
Yeah.
At some point. But it just never seems to work out for them.
That might be bad matchups, honestly.
Yeah. Like, I was really interested in seeing how durable Deadlift would be in the face of Icewave. Because this, on its face, was looking to be the classic spinner versus control bot. Unfortunately for Deadlift, that classic formula doesn't generally work out for the control bots anymore, because now that spinners are so powerful, and Icewave in particular is one of the most powerful spinners ever built.
Yeah. Also, we found out what Icewave means.
Yes, until this episode, I didn't know that the ice part of Icewave was meant to be an acronym for internal combustion engine.
That is
and
sick.
When I found that out, I just appreciated it so much more. Like, I like Icewave already, but it's like, I love stuff like that.
Yeah, we need more robot names that are acronyms.
Yes, absolutely. Get some codename Kids Next Door shit up.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, some great precise shots by Icewave in this, but it wasn't a competitive fight. But I guess we found out in this episode just what Deadlift's 1 rep max was.
I don't understand bodybuilder lingo, so...
I I mean, I'm not a bodybuilder or
I mean,
anything.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, gym rat. I mean, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I am that. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. This was a 5 out of 10 fight. It wasn't competitive, but it was nice to see yet another knockout because we've seen 3 consecutive knockouts in a row already on this episode, and that's something that you absolutely love to see.
Oh yes. I mean, to be actually, yeah. You're right.
Mm. Okay, moving on. We had the Battle of the Adorables. Blip versus Overhaul. Our
Oh god.
little blue sun that we love so much.
And also overhauls there.
Yes. Overhaul was there too. Womp womp.
Blip is the fucking future of this like sport.
Yes. Blip, the little engine that could, basically. It's compact, it's adorable, and it has so much power hidden in that little frame as well.
Hmm.
Right. Okay. I've actually got in here how they have that little wind up key that's used to like wind the flipper. How adorable that looks.
Oh god, it's the best.
Yes. And there was talk of breaking Overhaul's claw using the flipper, which I thought was a bold strategy because it's basically like try and break your opponent's fist with your face. But Blip, with the power behind that flywheel-driven flipper, I think could pretty much pull that off if it wanted to.
Yeah.
And this fight just turned out to be a great extended ass-kicking by Blip as they just tossed Overhaul all over the arena. If I'm remembering right, it actually managed to rip off 1 or 2 of Overhaul's wheels just through flips and impact.
I think so.
I might be conflating that with another fight though.
Actually no, I think you're mixing that up with like oh my god, with Matt. Was it the Copperhead Matt?
Oh yes, my bad. Right, okay. But yeah, it was an extended ass kicking on Blip's part as they tossed Overhaul all over the place. But the interesting thing is, Overhaul actually did manage to stay at least a little bit competitive in the sense of its driving.
Yeah.
It wasn't really able to do anything to Blip, but it managed to stay in there longer than you would expect, considering how much Blip was tossing it all over the arena.
Yeah, though Blip, yeah, as we've seen, like, when he's turning too fast, like, he sort of gets off balance.
Rear up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that could be an issue going
It
forward.
tends to rear up, and that's... If they can't get that under control, that's going to really come back to haunt them later on if they end up facing another robot that's known for its ground game. Like, for example, there's a lot of talk among fans about wanting to see Blip face Hydra.
Yeah.
That sort of thing would definitely cost them against Hydra, although Hydra, as we've seen, is kind of limping through this season so far.
True.
But also, if it was up against a robot with a very strong ground game and, say, like a powerful spinner, that would end Blip's night in a hurry.
Yeah, like...
And I would hate to see that. I do not want to see my little blue son get hurt like that.
Oh god, but yeah, like this was an excellent fight. Blip getting the big win at the end with a beautiful flip onto Overhaul's side. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Let's face it, Blip hasn't been given it hasn't been given overly strong competition in its 2 fights so far. The first one was against Rusty, who we love, but Rusty was looking to be falling apart already going in. And Overhaul is kind of a meme bot. Like, I love the team, don't get me wrong, but it's not really known for being massively successful. So those 2 fights seem more like a showcase for Blip more than anything else, and I don't think we'll get to see its full potential until the 3rd fight when it gets put, where I'm expecting it to be put up against a strong opponent and see how it does then.
Yeah.
But if the last are any indication, I'm very much looking forward to seeing Blip in an actual competitive fight and see how it keeps account of itself.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Blip's pretty much a lock for the round of 32.
Yes.
Okay,
yes, that would work.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure they're a lock for that already. So we're gonna see some big fights there.
Okay. But it was a squash match, but a highly entertaining one. 8 out of 10 from me.
Oh, yeah, same.
Yeah.
I think we pretty much had the same score, like, across the board.
Like, pretty much, yeah. This was one of those episodes where we just agreed on everything, pretty much. Now, coming up next, we had Huge versus Retrograde, and your opener for this week, the opening meme, as we got to see a proper use made of the platform. Now, there isn't really much to talk about in regards to the match itself, but they really highlighted Huge's loss to Riptide going into this.
Yeah,
and we actually did discuss this, how there seems to be a little bit of a changing of the guard going on with like the modern teams and some of the ones from the last few years who are steadily finding themselves falling behind the time.
Yeah, because like I mean, there are some new teams that like sort of. Actually, we mentioned this before, but yeah, like when a new team comes in, like they sort of don't do well at first, but like once they get their bearings, like they and know like what the veterans like how they work and all that, and like they really improve and find ways to get the wins.
Yeah,
to get over.
but yeah, with the loss from Huge to Riptide, you could tell that was very much on the team's mind, and they came into this with something to prove. They came in with reinforced wheels, from what I could see, to prevent that kind of loss again. So they're already preparing themselves for if they ever have to go in and have to worry about the screws again.
Yep, Hughes has finally evolved. It took fucking 3 seasons, but it's finally evolved.
Yeah, because you see the massive differences between Huge's wheels across each season. How it came in with like big gaps in the wheels in the first season with no rubber treads or anything like that, and they steadily add to it over time as well, just to constantly keep itself able to, not allow those wheels to screw things up for itself. Retrograde came in looking absolutely beautiful as well. Very Batmobile-like as well in its appearance, like the tumbler from Batman Begins and the Dark Knight trilogy.
Actually, I'd say both kind of look like the Batmobile, like just different forms of it.
Well,
I mean, like, because Hughes has like the big wheels, like I'm pretty sure like similar to like sort of the big tank mode from like the the Dark Knight.
I'd say that Huge looks more like a TIE fighter than it does the Batmobile.
Oh, actually, no, yeah, that's way better. That's way fucking better.
Yeah, rather appropriate given we've got Star Wars on the brain for various reasons lately. Now, coming into this one, Retrograde was running away from Huge, trying to line up a lift on its wheels, but Huge was just like, get the fuck out of here with that shit, and just goes right over it, rips it open, knocks it out, and then does our opening meme for the week as it climbs up on top of the deck and basically does the Stone Cold Steve Austin turnbuckle celebration.
Hey, yes, lad.
Perfect use of the deck. And I love that they highlighted it later on and used it as part of the hype package for the episode, where they just highlighted the various victory dances that robots do whenever they win. Which is mainly, the spin in place type of thing, but, with some other robots, you get to see them do other things where they've got the type of weapon that allows them to do it.
Yeah.
Which, in hindsight, reminds me a lot of Duck breakdancing after it beat Bombshell.
Oh, yeah! Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Oh, that was fantastic. Now, coming up there, we have the best scaly girl as Copperhead versus Fusion happens, and... Okay, Farouk here is an absolute gem with the intro and cuddles the snake, man.
Yeah.
Cuddles the snake.
Cuddles the snake.
Oh, she is the best, and everybody loves her, and you can see it as she comes out with the Copperhead team, and one of the audience actually gets to reach over and pet her a little bit as well. And I was so envious of that audience member because that snake is an absolute cutie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love snakes, so yeah.
And what was also awesome was this fight, because goddamn Copperhead is strong.
Oh yeah, right. Great intro for both teams as well, from Farouk as well.
Yeah, of course.
Rhys Stewart is looking a lot more comfortable on camera than he used to be. Like, still like he'd rather not be there, but no longer like having what looks like a visible stage fright like he used to.
Ah, yeah.
And honestly, I'm very happy for him like that, because I know he's under a lot of pressure having to live up to the Team Waiachi legacy, but I'm glad that he seems to be handling it better these days, because you could tell that in the previous season he really did not want to be there.
He did not.
Yeah. But as for the fight itself, Copperhead wasted absolutely no time getting stuck in here with hitting big hit after big hit, right away ripping Fusion's wedgelets off. And then just tearing the weapons to pieces as well, both the front and the rear weapon. like Copperhead as like this is one of my favorite robots in the entire lineup. Like a lot of people feel like like four-wheel drive verts are absolutely played out, and I'm definitely one of them. Copperhead is a squat two-wheel drive spinning drum, which on paper you would think falls into the same category as them, but no, it is an absolute right. It's a compact little powerhouse, and I love everything about it. The aesthetic, the team, the way that the weapon works, the design on the little ground scraping forks that it's got. It's just such a perfect storm of so many different things that I like as well. In much the same way that Tantrum is. And Copperhead just showing itself to be absolutely every bit as lethal as its namesake.
Yeah, it dominated almost that entire fight, I'm pretty sure. If not all
Pretty
of it.
much. Yeah, I'm still a little bit upset that Copperhead ended up losing to Mammoth in the previous season, which was a decision I do understand, but I really wanted to see Copperhead go very far.
Okay.
And so it losing out to Mammoth in the previous season when I've always felt Copperhead as a potential champion as well. And I think this year it could very well be Copperhead's year if they keep everything on straight. Because like Fusion is no joke. Any Team Waiachi machine is always going to be worth a watch. And Copperhead just mauled it here.
It did.
Like we saw what Fusion did to Cobalt, and now we've seen what Copperhead did to Fusion. It's just amazing. An 8 out of 10 squash match here, and Copperhead, very strong bet to win the season, and I really hope to see them go very far.
Same.
Like, I would love to see something like Copperhead versus Soulblaze at some point as well.
Oh, that would be a sick fight.
Oh yeah. And do you have anything that you want to add on this one, Mac?
No, not really. Like, you pretty much summed it up.
But yeah, Cuddles the Snake, best girl.
Yes.
And now we come to the main event of the evening. And the point in the episode where the KOs stop, because up to this, every single fight had been a knockout. But now we come to our lone judge's decision of the night, Whiplash versus Scorpios.
Yes. This was a fight. I mean,
oh yeah.
Can we describe it as a fight? It was more like... It's more a sumo contest than anything.
I mean, to be fair, it is a great fight. It's just not that high on the parts going flying type of thing. It's more of a technical fight between the two of them.
Yeah, true.
That's what this is. This is a big technical wrestling match more than anything else.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good way
right.
to put
Okay.
it.
So now coming in, the highlight package for both teams, fantastically done. Very anime-esque as well.
Oh god. Yeah.
Which was kind of to be expected when you've got two championship caliber teams like this going head to head in the main event. They highlighted the victory dances going in as well, and my big note for this one: two ace driving teams should be fantastic to watch, and that turned out to be very accurate.
Yeah.
Now, also, we got, before the fight itself started, as they were gearing up to activate, they both left their squares, met in the middle, backed themselves up to each other, and basically bro-fisted each other.
Yes.
To show like the absolute respect between these two teams was at an absolute high, because these are two of the first families of combat robotics these days. And you could just tell they were absolutely relishing that they were finally getting to fight each other.
That was an awesome moment. I kind of hope we see more like sportsmanship type deal with that, but like that even. But yeah, yeah, it's good. I liked it.
I mean, to be fair, it's quite common to see in combat robotics nowadays, because everybody who's involved in it, a lot of them have been around for so long at this point that they absolutely breathe this, and it's second nature to them.
Oh, nice.
I mean, look at people like Donald Hudson, for example.
Yeah, of course.
But immediately, as soon as the fight starts, Whiplash and Scorpius both come screaming out at the gate and get themselves in a collar and elbow tie-up. What a milestone. But Whiplash sticking hard to them and isolating them, but there was a great recovery from Scorpius and some super close back and forth between these two as they kept trying to isolate each other. Neither was able to really deal any damage to each other throughout the fight. Scorpio was trying to bring its weapon into play, but Whiplash constantly keeping them at arm's length, essentially jabbing them into submission using its lifter. But Scorpio's very controlled and aggressive, to try and match Whiplash's control and aggression as well. Very back and forth, and ultimately goes to a split decision as well, as a great driving bout between these two comes to a close, super close back and forth. But ultimately, it's 2-1 in favor of Whiplash on this one.
Yeah, that made that was the right decision.
Yes,
apparently,
personally,
was there a controversy like going into this because of that, or because like
there was a little bit of a controversy. It wasn't really like that anybody thought the decision was wrong, but more how is that a split decision? Like how could anybody think?
Okay.
How could anyone think that Scorpios won that?
Yeah, because like
And
literally, Scorpios did practically nothing, and like the only two like times that like it reasonably could have like the weapons just failed it.
if I had to think about it, I would say it's just right. Okay, so if I'm remembering right, the victory for Scorpios was given by Lisa Winters, and
was.
Lisa, as a former robot fighter herself, she pretty much just favors whichever robot has the active weapon, basically.
Yeah, more or less.
So I'm pretty sure that she gave all of the damage points to Scorpios because Whiplash was coming in using only a lifting arm.
Yeah. Even though reasonably Scorpios did more damage. Oh no,
Yeah,
even though Whiplash did more damage.
Yeah, Scorpios did maybe a little bit of scratch damage to Whiplash, and that was about it.
Yeah, but like Whiplash got Scorpios into the screws, so like that's.
Yeah, but I mean damage done with the active weapon, I guess.
I mean, yeah, but like Scorpios did barely any. Like its weapon failed like both times it tried to actually use it.
Oh, don't get me wrong, dude. I completely agree with you on this.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous that that if that was the case that she gave all those damage points to Scorpios, because yeah, this was pretty like it was a very close fight, but it was Whiplash's fight pretty handily.
It was. Did we see the? We haven't seen the actual scorecards, right?
Yeah, I don't think we have, because there's no real need to at this point.
Yeah, true.
Because like the only controversy is that it was a split decision at all, rather than a unanimous decision.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Not controversy over who won.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Still, who even knows with the judges? There's a reason you don't let it go to the judges. But yeah, great driving bout and an 8.5 to 9 out of 10 main event. It was a fantastic fight, and it was a very worthy main event. And a lot of what you would hope to see from these two teams.
Indeed.
Right, okay, and with that, we come to the end of the episode itself. Now we can properly and formally give out the awards for the episode.
Yes, knock out the Cobalt versus Ghost Raptor.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, there was no competition at all for who was going to be getting KO of the night here. Cobalt versus Ghost Raptor is the best knockout of the season and the best knockout in years.
Yeah, like,
so
someone's gonna need to step up their game if they want to knock this down.
Yes, absolutely. Fight of the night? Honestly, Cobalt versus Ghost Raptor, but honorable mention to the main event as well.
Yeah. Actually, I'd also give like a nod to Blip vs. Overhaul. Because that was fun.
Well, in this case, I have Cobalt versus Ghost Raptor for Fight of the Night because of the ultimate outcome and the fact that it was a pretty good fight between the two of them right up until Ghost Raptor was, torn to pieces.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, honorable mentions to the main event and Blip versus Overhaul. Best driver, I personally this week have Copperhead.
Yeah, Copperhead makes the most sense. It dominated.
Yeah, just brilliantly done against a very game driver of Fusion as well. Cobalt gets an honorable mention here for lining up the absolute perfect shot.
Yep.
And of course, the main event had fantastic driving all around. Best performing loser goes to Scorpios.
Yes, because as we all know, Scorpios was really good. I don't know why am I in charge. I don't know why I put myself in charge of that, but yeah.
But yeah, Scorpios did a very good job even in defeat, so it comes away with the best performing loser award of the week. And the Dark Horse victory, well, considering how brilliantly it performed versus the previous time it performed, that goes to Cobalt as well. Cobalt running away with the awards this week.
Yeah, Cobalt with the biggest bounce back possible.
Like, you
love to see it.
Yeah, but overall, fantastic episode and an absolute pleasure to watch. And I was very lucky that I was able to go into this without having any of the results spoiled for me. Because this was a time when I actually had Friday off and could therefore watch it earlier in the day.
Yes. Maybe next time you should not go to Facebook so often.
Well, it's. Well, you know how it is.
Yes, I do see how it is, and Facebook is garbage.
Yes. Well, beggars can't be choosers.
But you know,
Anyway, so we've come to the end of the episode. Mac, do we have anything that we want to talk about in the off-topic session for the week?
well, Jack,
Or
I believe you have something to talk about.
do I?
Yes, you completed a certain project.
Ah, yes. Okay, so I have alluded to this a little bit before. I have been building a cardboard suit of Boba Fett armor recently. And I finally completed the project the other day, and it's received a lot of positive feedback from people who've seen it, considering that it's a micro-budget cardboard build made from cardboard boxes that I had lying around. Mac, I assume you'll be editing in some photos that I've
Of
taken
course.
from it,
Of course.
right?
Tell us about the process.
Okay, right. Well, a lot of it was using templates that I ordered off of the internet. Like, for example, I got the template for the helmet from Epic Cardboard Props. I would have gotten the RJR Productions one, but unfortunately it hasn't been made available yet. The armor itself, I was able to find templates elsewhere on a website called The Dented Helmet, which is from what I can see, it's a cosplay forum dedicated to creating Boba Fett cosplays. And it ended up working out very well. There was actually a lot of work that had to go into making this. For example, not only like cutting out the armor pieces, but also the stuff in order to cure it using PVA glue. I would have used resin, but resin is unfortunately quite expensive. And like I said, micro budget cardboard build, mostly what I already had lying around the house. I went for a bunch of really cheap X-Acto knives, and I have decided I'm never going to use them again. I'm going to get a proper high quality one next time and use that. Making the helmet was honestly the part that had the most potential to go wrong, because even with the templates, it still came out looking a little bit off in some ways. So once I got the actual skeletal shape of the helmet down, I had to cover the top in modeler's clay, sand that down until it was nice and smooth, and then I had to paper mache the helmet, and then prime it, and then paint it. And that was the story for a lot of the armor, to be honest. Unfortunately, the stuff that I attached as the underlayer ended up not quite working out, so it didn't work out perfectly, and I also had to make an approximation for the Boba Fett gauntlets, because at the time, the templates for Boba's actual gauntlets weren't available, so I had to basically make the Mandalorian's gauntlets and then just spray them in Boba's colors. I've decided I am going to remake it at some point, but only when I've got better quality tools and actually have more time and can properly focus on it. But I've got a lot of other things in my life going on right now that means I'm probably not going to be able to do that for a very long time, as I will reveal as and when it happens.
Very nice.
Yeah, overall, making the armor was a lot of fun, and I would highly recommend trying to make it to anybody if they can find the time. But yeah, it's a lot of work, so be prepared for what you're getting yourself into. And I was making this all throughout the process that the Book of Boba Fett was airing as well, and I was able to finish it just after the finale aired the other week.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll throw the links to like all those into the description.
Awesome. And yeah, everybody, watch the Book of Boba Fett if you haven't already, because it's great.
It is. Also, watch Smiling Friends. It's a very good cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I highly recommend you watch it. It's fun.
Sell me on it. What is it about?
Okay, so the basic concept is there's two guys who work at a company called Smiling Friends, where like they have to go out and like basically they get calls and like they have to go and like help people who need help smiling, and it gets weird. It gets really weird.
Fair enough.
Like it's
okay. That's something.
It's bizarre. It's like because it's very Newgrounds-esque, like in a sense.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I highly recommend it.
Okay, I'll try and check it out at some point then. Okay, do we have anything else we needed to talk about?
No, I don't believe so.
Right, okay, well then, that will be it for us from the week. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you, what few of you there are when we get to the next episode. But until then, I'm Jack, he's Mac, and take it easy, everybody. Stay safe, yeah?
Yeah, see you.